Okay. So, we are discussing about the PO of accreditation of engineering graduate. So, domain specific I have already done. So, domain independent. First one is called individual and teamwork. Number 6 PO, which is domain independent, is called individual and teamwork. So, a student not only know domain kind of skill, but they also have a skill, so that they can work as an individual and they can effectively work in a team. So, integrity of the students. Communication skill. Communicate effectively on complex engineering activity with the engineering community and with society at large, such as being able to comprehend and write effective report, design documentation, make effective presentation, give and receive clear instruction. So, in one word I can say this is called effective communication. A engineer, what is required? He must able to communicate on his fellow worker, or he must able to communicate with the society, he must able to communicate with the client, he must able to communicate with his higher boss. So, all communication, effective communication required. And what is else required? He should able to write effective technical report. Not only spoken, written communication also required. So, spoken and written form. So, it is never said a engineer, if you see that BTech, most of the time you say the BTech engineer must, spoken English must be very good. It is not that he has to speak as a British accent, he has to speak as a British American accent. He has to communicate effectively. So, how do you develop the effective communication? I am not saying engineer will write a report which is like a Shakespeare. I do not require Shakespeare. I require an engineer who has a proficiency in the communication for effective communication regarding the technical matter. So, how do you develop communication skill? I will come later on that part. Next one, engineering and society. Demonstrate understanding of the social, health, safety, legal and cultural issue and the consequent responsibility relevant to the engineering practices. Just read out it, then I will explain what is required here. Next one, if you see ethics, understand and commit to personal ethics and responsibility and norms of engineering practices. The problem is, how can I develop ethics? It is not ethics means major term, only engineering ethics. Next one, environment and sustainability, understand the impact of engineering solution. So, understand is the not ultimate goal, goal is demonstrate knowledge of and need of sustainable development. They should be able to demonstrate. Here also ethics, understand and commit. So, commit to professional ethics and responsibility, and so they should be able to commit to professional ethics, not only understanding is sufficient. Project management and finance, demonstrate a knowledge and understanding of management and business practices such as risks and change management and understand their limitation. Next, lifelong learning. They have to have a skill of self learning. Now, challenges is that domain dependent skill I can develop offering a different kind of subject, because yes, you are studying BTech engineering in electronics. So, to design of electronic circuits, analog circuits, I offer a course. To design AC machine in electrical, I offer a course. To design an antenna, I offer a course. But how do I develop the domain independent skill which is required? So, domain independent skill, individual and teamwork. How will teach them individual and teamwork? Should I offer a course on individual and teamwork? How do we develop their communication skill only single course in English for communication, is it sufficient to develop the communication skill? One semester course English for communication, maybe 2 semester course, whatever you do, is it sufficient for their communication development? What do you do for engineering society? Should you offer a subject? What do you do for ethics? Can ethics be developed by offering a course? Project management and finance, lifelong learning. Can I offer a course for lifelong learning? So, problem is that as a teacher, my challenge is, can I say while I am developing their domain dependent skill, their domain independent skill is developed. So, my challenge is that every teacher, not ethics is taught by some other teacher as a subject, not like that. While I am developing domain dependent skill, analyzing ability, solving ability, design ability, testing ability, synthesis ability, can I say that I am following a teaching learning process by which I also developing the domain independent skill like the teamwork, individual, ethics, communication skill, lifelong learning, all those things. So, for example, suppose I am teaching a course on AC machine design, for example. Can I ensure while I am teaching a AC machine design in the class, I am developing their communication skill, I am developing their ethics, I am developing their lifelong learning, and I am developing their teamwork and individual, program, sustainability and environment, all those things. So, teaching in analog electronics, if I teach, I cannot say I only teach analog electronics. I may teach analog electronics, but I have to take care about the domain independent skill also. Many times we say, how many of us we say story in the class, which is very essential. Ethical story in the class related to my domain. Engineering ethics, not that general kind of ethics. So, whatever the subject I teach, can I say that my teaching learning process is such that while I am developing domain dependent skill something, I am developing also ethics. Engineering and society, I may talk about a course on chemical process plan. Can I say while I am teaching a chemical process plan, I also provide or I also teaching learning process facilitate them to develop their domains on health, safety, legal and cultural issues. Lifelong learning, how do we develop? I may teach in a course on maybe mathematics. Can I say that I am developing lifelong learning? Yes, it is very much important. So, assignment is one of the important part for teaching and learning. If I provide assignment, I can ensure they are developing their lifelong learning ability. So, without giving assignment, can I say I have developed their lifelong learning ability? So, I can say while I am teaching a domain dependent course, the domain independent skill is developed because of my teaching learning process. So, what is the correct pedagogy or correct teaching learning process, so that I can claim this thing? While I am teaching a course on AC machine design, I am ensuring their communication skill developed, their ethics developed, their self learning ability developed, their teamwork developed, all kinds of development happen. May not be all in domain independent skill is not possible by every courses. Some courses may say, okay sir, project management, finance, how can I say? Yes, not possible. For that, maybe there is a particular engineering course where that part is included, or if it is not included, I can wait by another interdisciplinary course also. But ethics, lifelong learning, communication skill, teamwork, those cannot be offered by a course. Those should be integral part of every domain dependent course. Very simple. Lifelong learning. Somebody has taken in a class, whatever the problem he solved in the board, give the exam, what self-learning ability you are developing? Without any assignment, without any problem given to the student to solve by themselves, how their self-learning ability is developed? Communication skill. Can I say offering a course in English for communication, maybe 1 or 2 semester course, develop their communication ability? So, there may be a 8 semester, 5 into 8, 40 courses, let us say 40 approximate, 40 courses. So, out of 40 courses, only 2 courses are there, which is English for communication. Can English for communication skill is developed? No. Communication skill will develop if every course is taken care on this. That means, my teaching learning process demand interaction between the teacher and students. Instead of teacher talking, student must talk in the class. So, if students start talking, their communication skill is developed. Lab report. If we see that lab report, this year lab report and last 5 year back lab report all are same, what technical writing are developing? So, every year lab report you have to design laboratory experiment such a way the students should able to write their own lab report, not copying from last year or last 10 year lab report. Most of the cases if you find that lab reports are same from the beginning of the colleges. So, if I taken care those kind of little bit of things, I can say that domain dependent independent skill is also developed. Ethics. So, ethics can learn by practices. If I cannot ensure that students are not copying the result from previous lab, what kind of ethics I am developing? How can I say the engineering ethics is developed? So, as a teacher, the main, we can say the main challenge for the teacher is that while I am teaching a domain dependent course, I have to take care about the domain independent course, domain independent skill set. So, I am taking the course on domain for developing domain dependent skill, but I have to ensure I also touch down the domain independent skill. So, every course must be towards the development of communication skill, self learning, ethics, teamwork, individual. Some courses will go for engineering and society and project management and finance. So, these 12 parameters has to be acquired by the students. So, who require the accreditation? Accreditation actually required to be implemented in the classroom. Unless student acquire those skills, my accreditation is not successful. So, that is why there is called attainment of PO, program outcome attainment. How do we measure the attainment? So, all are linked together. I will explain development, CO, PO, mapping, program matrix, attainment, all kinds of things, which are very much scientific. So, in a summary I can say accreditation is a process by which I can measure the quality of an educational program, or I can say objectively quality of an educational program, not subjective quality. To measure the objective quality, I require certain parameters. Those parameters are called PO in case of Washington Accords. So, Washington Accords defined 12 PO, or 12 skill set which are essential for a graduate, or you can say the graduate or undergraduate, in the outside is graduate, here is undergraduate engineers. So, after 10 plus 2, 4 years study, they must acquire this 12 skill. And if I can say that this program has been enable the students to acquire those 12 skill, then I can say the program is accredited as. So, there may be certain parameter which are directly measurement is not possible, we measure it indirectly. So, it is not about that how many benches are there, how many lights are there in the room, how many the blackboards are there, not that. It is that ultimately whether the skill is developed or not. So, now the question is accreditation produce better graduate? Maybe say, oh, my program is NBA accredited. Is accreditation produce better graduate? Answer is no. Accreditation guaranteed the minimum quality required for a BTech engineer, if it is Washington Accords. So, if it is accreditation process developed for let us general education, the physics, honors, chemistry, then that process will guarantee that all the pass out students maintain the minimum quality which is required. There may be exceptional students who can achieve higher than the accreditation requirement, but accreditation says that there is a minimum scale of requirement. So, accreditation never says that if it is program is accredited, it is produce better graduate. No, straight away no. Maybe very good program which is already established, brand name is already established, accreditation may not required. But yes, if I want to measure the objective quality of the program, accreditation is essential. So, in whole accreditation process, accreditation is a process for measuring the quality of a program, and this does not guarantee the better quality, it only guaranteed that it maintained the minimum quality. Now, in India, if you say we have also accreditation process, we call NBA, National Board of Accreditation, and their parameter is same as Washington Accords, which I have already explained. They have a 5 domain dependent PO, then there is a 7 domain independent PO. Okay. So, same thing, same whatever is there in Washington Accords, because India also a signatory of Washington Accords. So, what is Washington Accords? I have never said it. It is nothing but a group of people sit together and define those are the minimum skill required for this kind of program. So, they said after 10 plus 2, more than 4-year program must have those skills. So, accreditation I think you have understand. So, PSO program specific outcome, PO program outcome. So, 12 all 12 together is called PO. If I say domain dependent 5 written on a particular program is called PSO. So, PO is skill, PSO when it is those 5 is adapted for a particular program. As I given the example, some electronics BTech program may be very good on microwave, if they have written that they are PSO towards microwave, but all those 5 dimensions solving ability, analyzing ability, design ability, testing ability and modern tools uses ability. Now, those PO can be attained by offering a different course. So, all those courses will towards the development of required PO. So, domain dependent while, so I do not have a flexibility to offer so many courses for project management, finance, ethics, those cannot be developed by course also. So, sometime, so the challenge of the teacher is that while you teaching a domain dependent skill, can you develop their domain independent ability, or I can say how I will implement accreditation in the classroom. So, the question is how can I implement accreditation in the classroom? What is the methodology to implement accreditation in the classroom? So, next lecture I will start OBE. I will explain how OBE is the methodology to implement NBA in the or implement accreditation, not NBA is a one kind of accreditation. So, accreditation in the classroom. Accreditation can be done for any program, and you have to only define that parameters by which you want to accredit the program. Okay. So, now I will show you some slide which is may not be your. So, is already say that is accreditation program produce better graduate? No, accreditation often statement of meeting minimum requirement. Then if you say value of accreditation, I am not reading the slides, you can read it. Then I will show you the list of country who are already part of signatory of Washington Accords. India is also signatory of Washington Accords. The advantage of accreditation is that if the program is accredited, then I can ensure the program maintain the minimum quality. And also if you see that industry says that our graduates are not employable because we never develop the skill. But if I develop those 12 skill and if we ensure those skills are acquired by the students, then industry will definitely say they are employable. So, how do you ensure or how do you implement accreditation in the classroom is an important factors, and I will next few lectures I will describe how you implement accreditation in the classroom. Okay? Thank you.